feel like I need to point out that if you can hear screams and things in the background, it's a really nice day and the kids are playing, my kids are playing outside, so no one is being harmed, everyone is perfectly safe, but yeah, they're just that sound is them having a good time. So if you can hear screams, that's what it is. Hi guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. Today I'm going to be doing another book haul. I know, but it's a well acknowledged fact that I have a book buying problem, and B, there aren't as many books as I actually thought there were when I sat down to film this, so that is a sneaky bonus for me, especially when James comes and asks me where the books have come from. So yeah, let's just jump straight in to the bit that you're all here for, and that is the books. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Tradition by Brendan Keeley, and I think that I ordered this book after seeing a NetGalley email with it recommended, and I thought that it sounded quite interesting, a little bit different, not something that I would usually pick up, and I was intrigued enough to go and order it. So this is a YA book about two students who go to a very elite academy. We've got Jules, who is in her senior year, and she has one goal, which is to get out and start her life at college, and we have Jamie, who is a sports star on a scholarship, and the academy is his chance to get away from his past, and something happens at this academy, and it says on the back, powerful, privileged, popular. After a school party ends in disaster, the two of them, so Jules and Jamie, discover a terrible truth. Can they stand together against Fulbrook's most toxic traditions? So I think the thing that intrigued me the most was that NetGalley was talking about how hugely relevant this book is at this moment in time in society, and it was just enough to pique my interest and yeah, get me ordering it. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get round to it, but thought that it sounded different, thought that it sounded interesting, and I'm always up for reading anything that is culturally relevant. So yeah, I ordered that one. Next up we have Beyond a Darkened Shore by Jessica Leek, and this was the book that came in my recent Fairy Loot box, which I think I will have posted the unboxing by the time this video goes live. So if you are interested in the contents of that, then I will link it in the description box down below, and you can hop over and watch that after this video. So this is a kind of Nordic Viking inspired fantasy book about two characters who come from opposing sides in a society. They discover that they have a gift, a very similar gift, and they've got to work together basically to save a war-torn country. And yeah, as I said, I got it in my Fairy Loot box, but it sounds right up my alley. I am so here for kind of Viking Nordic style fantasy books. I'm really intrigued by the premise, and hopefully it will be a very good read. My hay fever today is just bonkers. My face is so itchy. Next up we have got Out of the Blue by Sophie Cameron. This was the Book Box Club box. Oh my word, I can't remember what it was. Book Box Club pick for April. This is about angels. So angels start randomly falling from the sky. One family go off to hunt an angel and they find one alive, and that's pretty much all I know, and I have never heard anybody else talking about this book on BookTube, so I'm very intrigued to discover it for myself, to see what I think, and yeah, angels is not a topic that I particularly read about often, so very interested to get to this one. Then we have got A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas, and if you follow me on Instagram you might have picked up on my Insta stories when this arrived, because I paid $6.99 for this book, and I'm gonna be honest, didn't realise it was a novella when I pre-ordered it or when I paid full price for it. I was expecting something twice, if not 3 times the size of this book, and a little bit disappointed by that. But I mean, the cover is gorgeous. I'm excited to follow and pick up on the story where it left off, maybe dive back into the world a little bit. But yeah, I was expecting this book to be a heck of a lot bigger than it has actually turned out to be, so tiny bit disappointed by that. Have tried to remain as spoiler free as possible about what this is, which you can tell because I didn't even know that I was getting a novella. I thought I was getting the next book in the series. But yeah, excited to get to this one at some point. Then we have a book that I am very, very excited to read, and I will be reading it this month because it is the Bookish Mama's book club pick for May, and that is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. This is a book that I am just so excited to read because I've heard so many good things, and people are saying it is even better than The Nightingale, which was one of my favourite books, is one of my favourite books, so I'm just super, super excited to get to it. So this is set in 1974 in Alaska. It's about a family who go out to Alaska to try and make a life for themselves, to try and carve an existence in a very unforgiving environment. I believe that there is some domestic abuse from father to wife and daughter, although I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, I've just heard that it's an incredibly hard-hitting but incredibly moving story, and Kristen Hanna, as I've said multiple times and will probably say many more times, she has a way of creating characters that just get really under your skin, and I'm fully expecting that from this one. And to say that I'm going into this one with high hopes is an understatement, because I am expecting good things from this book, and I will let you know very, very soon my thoughts on it. Then we've got Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This is, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because this is a book that James bought, and I'm not as au fait with the world of Brandon Sanderson as he is, but I believe it's another series set within the same world as his Mistborn trilogy, and this is about a society in which a group of people have got epic powers, so they are known as the Epics, and nobody touches the Epics apart from a group of ordinary humans who are called the Reckoners, and they study the Epics' behaviour. They try and learn their weaknesses so that they can assassinate them. And I believe that there is a young boy called David who wants to become a Reckoner, basically, to get revenge on the Epics. So I've heard that this is on a par with Mistborn, so I'm very, very excited to read it. James hasn't picked it up just yet, but again, he's a massive Brandon Sanderson fan, so he got this one for his birthday, and yeah, I think he's very excited to read it. As am I. Then we have got Dark Breaks the Dawn by Sarah B. Larson. This is, I believe, a loose retelling of Swan Lake. It's about a princess who comes into her full magical powers on her 18th birthday, and someone in the kingdom is plotting to kind of use that against her, get her on the throne, but wield her power and control her. And I actually don't know the story of Swan Lake, but reading the synopsis of this, I thought that it sounded really interesting. It's the first one in a duology. I've never read anything by Sarah B. Larson before, but yeah, I just thought that the premise sounded very intriguing. It's just another one to add to my ever-growing TBR list to get to at some point. Then the next 4 books are ones that I picked up at a second-hand bookstall that we discovered comes every Saturday to our local market town, and we didn't know that it was there, and we were just wandering through the market town recently, and we spotted it, and he said, "Oh yes, I'm here every Saturday," and I thought, that's probably going to be a really big downfall for me because his books are all in really great condition. They're a really good price. It's £1.80 for a paperback. So yeah, I only managed to, well, I say I managed to only choose 4. But I am certain that I will be back in the very near future. But first, I'm just going to talk about the 4 that I did pick up. So we have got This Must Be the Place by Maggie O'Farrell. This, and I haven't actually taken the stickers off. The only criticism that I would have is that his stickers don't come off his books very easily, so not loving that. Anyway, so this is Maggie O'Farrell's most recent book. I know literally nothing about it, so I'm just gonna have to kind of read the back. I've just seen it doing the rounds on BookTube, and I've seen good things from it on Goodreads, so when I spotted it, I picked it up. I've read a couple of other Maggie O'Farrell books and enjoyed them, so I added this one to the list. So it says, a reclusive former film star living in the wilds of Ireland, Claudette Wells thinks nothing of firing a gun if strangers get too close to her house. Why is she so fiercely protective of her privacy, and what made her disappear at the height of her cinematic fame? Her husband Daniel, reeling from a discovery about a woman he last saw 20 years ago, is about to make an exit of his own. It is a journey that will send him off course, far from home. Will his love for Claudette be enough to bring him back? This must be the place that crosses continents and time zones, creating a portrait of an extraordinary marriage, the forces that hold it together, and the pressures that drive it apart. So yeah, thought that sounded interesting enough to pick up, so that's the first one. The next book I'm going to talk about is SSGB by Len Dayton. This is a book which has been on my radar for quite a while. It's not a new release, and it's basically told from the perspective of Britain under Germany's rule. So if Germany had won the Second World War and the Allies hadn't managed to push them back, what Britain would have looked like. So it just says on the back, in February 1941, British command surrendered to the Nazis. Churchill has been executed, the King is in the Tower, and the SS are in Whitehall. And then on the front it says the battle has been lost, the fight goes on. So yeah, this is one that has been on my radar for a very long time. I'm very intrigued by the premise. I don't know much about what happens plot-wise beyond the fact that it's Britain under Nazi rule, but I'm excited to read this one. I think the next time that I'm in the mood for some World War fiction, this is the one that I'm going to turn to. And then an author which, looking at the cover of this book, it seems like they're a bit of a fantasy powerhouse, but James and I had never come across this author before, and that is KJ Parker. And so this is The Two of Swords Volume 1, and it says on the front, World Fantasy Award winning author, and then the back cover is just covered in praise for this author, but we've never come across them before, and we spotted it on the book stand, and yeah, the premise just sounded very, very interesting. I'm not going to go too much into it. It's about, it's kind of your typical fantasy setup. There is a country that has been divided, there's an ongoing war between East and West, and things kick off and there are different characters, and yeah, we basically picked it up because we were intrigued that we'd never come across this author before, but there's such high praise all over the cover of the book. So I think that James will probably read this one before I do. If you're interested when he picks it up to hear his thoughts, then let me know. Likewise, if you've come across KJ Parker before, if that's a name that's familiar to you, and you want to give us some insight into the type of book that it's going to be, then also do that, because we are very, very interested to know. And then the final book that I picked up from the book stand is The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. This is a very well-known book, very much loved on BookTube. It's about a young girl whose father is found dead in mysterious circumstances, and whilst she is trying to uncover what happened, she comes across the lie tree, which is a tree that feeds on mysteries and lies and deceit, and I believe that it's kind of magical realism, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of magical realism. It says on the front, there's no such thing as a little white lie. It was the Costa Book of the Year for 2015. It's one that I've been meaning to pick up for quite a while, so when I spotted it, I snapped it up. And then the final two books that I'm going to talk about are books that I picked up recently for the kids. They are hardback books. They got them for their birthdays, and they are very similar in theme. So the first one is Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. So this is 100 stories of significant women from history. So you have everybody from Elizabeth I to Serena Williams, the tennis star, and the illustrations in this are really, really colourful, really interesting. There's quite a lot of text to go along with them, but there is just some really, really fascinating people in here, and Meg has just really been enjoying reading about them and being inspired, I guess, by women from throughout history. There are some people in here that even I didn't know anything about. So that's Maria Montessori. We're just kind of enjoying reading them together at bedtime and learning more about powerful, kick-ass female people from throughout the, I nearly said female characters, but these are real life people. So yeah, just some really kick-ass women who can inspire us and continue to inspire generations of boys and girls in the present day. So yeah, that was the one that we got for Meg. And on a very similar line, we have Stories for Boys Who Dare to Be Different by Ben Brooks. This is a collection of 100 stories of famous and not so famous men who made a difference in the world somehow, either by being compassionate or by seeing something that needed to be changed and by making a change. So again, there's quite a lot of text but the illustrations are very bright and intriguing. Got John Lennon there. Yeah, so there's just a lot of Steve Irwin, which I saw something recently with Steve Irwin's son in it. This is such a random side note, but he looks the spitting image of him. So yeah, just some really, really well-known people, and then some not so well-known people. Again, it's just a book to inspire the, you know, to inspire our children to dare to be different, to dare to be compassionate. Just lots and lots of figures from history. And so we picked the two of these up, and we're just enjoying reading them with the kids. And as I said, there are some people in here that we didn't really know about, so we're learning and they're learning. And if they can inspire our children to be a bit more compassionate or to see themselves as world changers, then I am just totally there for that. So there you go, they are the books that I have picked up recently. Do let me know if you have read any of them and what you thought about them. Also, let me know what you're currently reading, because I do always love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all very soon.